This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Strong, short, staccato. I like it. Welcome to DBL. It's Thursday, May 20th. I'm Tori here with my good friends Erica and Brandon. You all looking good? Feeling good?
As are you. Yes, I'm feeling great.
Nice.
Thank you.
I tried the sultry thing today and it didn't work, so we're going to start there.
Sultry it up.
I'll try it. All right, so did you all see the 11-year-old? It was all over my feed yesterday. I'm sure y'all have seen it. Her name is Alyssa, and she fought off a would-be kidnapper while waiting for the school bus in Florida. All of this was caught on surveillance video. Take a look. A man with a knife gets out of his car. He runs to snatch the girl. She runs away, but he catches her. She then fights back, even trips the man, who gives up and drives away. Now, the suspect was later found and identified. He's right here, thanks in part to a blue mark of slime that the 11-year-old girl, Alyssa, actually left on him. It's a trick her mom says she learned from watching none other than Law and Order SVU. Is that not the best show in the whole world?
Greatest.
Here's what the girl told the Today Show all about it.
I was able to get the slime onto his upper arm and I think a little bit on his jaw. The man got out of his vehicle holding a knife, came towards me, and I tried to run, but he caught me. But I knew that that might be better evidence for if the cops do find him.
Unbelievable quick thinking. The girl just happened to be mixing some blue paint with some homemade slime. When all of a sudden it went down, would you have thought to do that? Teenagers are way different than we were back then.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember.
She's not even a teenager.
I know. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so much more advanced because of the things that they have seen. So would you do that, Erica?
I think it's really hard to say what you would do in the moment because we don't know what type of person we are. We fight or we flight.
Or we freeze. We can do,
right.
Yeah.
I do think when I had to call 911 in an instance where it was dire, I never thought I would do this, but I automatically went to my name, my location, my name, my location. And then after I said it twice, then I was like, there's an intruder. Like the things that I was saying, I remember thinking like, why am I speaking this
Like
way?
automatically it came out.
Right, but the thing was, like a week later on, you know how you have the community reports or whatever, and the police wrote a report about it, and they said because she was able to articulate exactly what was happening and how it was happening, we were able to apprehend a suspect that had been all over the neighborhood because they caught him right away.
Your details.
So you just really don't know what you're going to do until you're in that situation.
Wow.
That's-
Brandon?
I mean, at 11 years old.
That's amazing, Eric.
At 11 years old, we didn't watch Law and Order to learn how to deal with an abductor. I was too busy trying to learn stop, drop, and roll. And that was just if you were on fire, you know. It's crazy how advanced these kids are to these days where they can go through that process like you did, Erica Cobb. But, you know, I have nieces and nephews. Every time I go home to Virginia to go hang out, I always thought it was weird that my brother and my sister-in-law was watching CSI and like Criminal Minds with my nieces and nephews. But I texted my sister-in-law this morning and told her about the Law and Order thing, how the girl knew that from Law and Order, and she was like, "Hey, that's why we watch that because you never know." It's just parents are now thinking you never know these days.
I mean, school shootings and all of that, it's getting really, really real. I completely agree with you. I will say, I think we all remember what Oprah had. Remember that gentleman on? Never let them take you to the second location. That was, he stood up and said it in the camera, and every mother showed their child that day. Never let them take you to the second location. All right. Well, a lot of people are talking about cancel culture and some of the unintended consequences, like comedians who are no longer able to make certain jokes. Here's one example. This very popular Boston radio host who's been on the air for 40 years quit yesterday. He even did it on air after management told him to stop making jokes about Demi Lovato's announcement that they identify as non-binary. Even Chris Rock is talking about cancel culture. Here's what he said on the Breakfast Club podcast recently. Take a listen.
What happens is everybody gets safe.
Right.
And when everybody gets safe and nobody tries anything, things get boring.
Right.
Absolutely.
So I see a lot of unfunny comedians. I see unfunny TV shows. I see unfunny award shows. I see unfunny movies. Because everybody's scared to, like, you know, make a move. You know, and that's not a place to be. You know, we should have the right to fail.
You were nodding. I 1000% agree in terms of unfunny this, unfunny that, because we're all playing it safe. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Chris Rock, but I think that the situation with the radio DJ, those two cannot be conflated.
They're not comparable.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, because you have a 71-year-old man who is introing Demi Lovato, Jonas Brothers. Radio is a very interesting space because you can have someone there who is very much out of demo speaking to a different demo that's younger. That's totally fine if you're an Elvis Duran and you're willing to evolve, but you're missing the mark because you're not communicating effectively with your audience. There has to be evolution there. For Chris Rock, I think he's absolutely correct. People are really scared to try new things, and I think that there has to be space for grace based on the idea that you are trying to evolve, you're trying to move the mark.
Space for grace is a great way of or saying, like, you can fail, you can try, as long as your intentions are good. I love that. Brandon, you were nodding along. What were you thinking?
I would rather safe than stupid. When we're talking about, because when we're talking about comedy, there has to be some sort of truth in it that makes it funny. But now we're in 2021 where if you make some sort of lazy joke about a culture and the stereotypes that are involved with that culture, it's not funny anymore. And that shouldn't make you jump on a podcast and be like, oh, I can't be myself. Be more creative. Be more funny with your art. And I think that's where most people are trying to push in 2021. I'm not trying to cancel anyone by trying to be artistic and, maybe missing the mark a bit. But when someone coming up with blackface and, black people, watermelon this, and Bojangles, no, it's not funny.
And that's like blatantly racist, but I just think comedy is so on the line of every era of like almost too far. They cross that boundary, right? Richard Pryor, George Carlin, they go there where you're like not supposed to go. And that's what makes us evolve in some ways. Does that make sense?
But if we watch old Richard Pryor, there are things, I mean, even old Eddie Murphy where you're like,
you cringe,
But some comedian, I can't remember who said, but who were we doing the jokes for? Because those were the same jokes that made a lot of these people superstars. And in that, going back to the idea of knowing your audience, but also knowing what is funny in the moment. Like a lot of the things that we're looking at, maybe it wasn't funny then, but who was going to say it? Because that's where society was.
Yeah, they're usually provocateurs, and they change the world, in my opinion. All right, very quickly, Prince William got his first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and for the first time, a lot of us here are seeing Prince William's full arm.
Okay.
Posted on Instagram. Many are commenting that he's got a rather ripped bicep.
That's ripped.
Others think it's just good lighting. What do you think? Now, we have someone in the studio who is also quite the bicep. This is our producer, Michael Dean. And Michael thinks it's just good lighting. Michael is not sure. Let's take a look at his bicep.
Mike Dean.
This is Michael Dean, and we're going to take a look in good lighting. He thinks it's all a ruse.
Now, let's get some good lighting.
That's a bicep. That's a bicep.
Yes.
Come on. That's the Pfizer versus the J&J right there. That's what that is right there. Michael Dean's gonna clip that, put it on his IG. I love
Michael Dean doesn't need doors. He just walks through walls. He's that strong. Unbelievable. And by the way, if you're wondering why Prince got it so late, Prince William, he's 38, so he has to wait for the age time limit. I'm glad he didn't jump ahead in line. Anyway, coming up on DBL, Kathy Hilton is opening up to DBL about Paris and her disturbing experience in boarding school so many years ago. Plus, a New Jersey housewife goes under the knife before the big reunion special. Are some reality TV stars going too far to look good? We're talking about it.
Closed captioning provided by
This is the meme getting posted all over Facebook. It lists the average consumer prices for things like gas, lumber, and home sales in 2020, and then in 2021, where it claims prices went up significantly higher. Let's verify. Are these numbers accurate?
The numbers are roughly accurate. In terms of the commodities listed there.
Our sources are Pete Earle, an economist from the American Institute for Economic Research, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index. A quick look at the government's Consumer Price Index showed the numbers line up with this meme, but they need context, and these two presidents aren't it.
The first driver of these higher prices is sort of a lack of understanding that an economy is not a lawnmower or a light switch. You can't turn it off and then turn it back on at will.
Since March of 2020, both presidents have been in charge while economic lockdowns have been in place. Earle says the firms that made these goods shut down or ran at limited capacities.
So you have tons of demand meeting limited supply, which is why we have prices rising.
And that's just one part. Earle says another cause of high prices is inflation, which he believes both administrations had a hand in creating.
What inflation really means is although prices are going up, it means the value of your dollar, which is to say purchasing power, is being eroded.
So yes, the prices on this meme are correct, but the context that one administration is to blame just doesn't add up. With your Verify, I'm Matt Gregory.
For all of us to come together, the entire group, the way that we did was really special, and it affected me very, very deeply. I think I was surprised by how emotional all of it was.
DBL, a big shout out to our coworkers. We love you. They're tuning in from home during the pandemic. We miss you. And a big shout out to Angelica, whose birthday is today.
Yes. Hey, girl.
We love you, Jill. We miss you so much. Her friends call her Jill.
Oh.
Okay.
So I'm a friend.
Wow, I didn't know.
Real Housewives of New Jersey star Dolores Catania revealed she got a ton of plastic surgery ahead of last night's reunion special. So Dolores told Page Six this. You guys ready? She spent 9 hours under the knife to prepare for the reunion and said she does the most out of anyone from all the Housewife franchises to look her best for the specials. Take a look.
So I got body tight and lipo on my legs. While he took some fat out, he rounded my a little bit more. And, you know, I went on a super crash diet, you know, it's a thing. 2 million people are going to watch this, maybe more if we're lucky. And you got to look good. You got to look your best.
It is a thing. Okay, she's not alone. In her preview of the new season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Kyle Richards admitted she got another nose job. And of course, Shannon Bedore, you all remember this from The Real Housewives of Orange County, said her very puffy appearance on the reunion show earlier this year was due to some natural fillers in her face and cheeks. Now, I have a Bravo-holic on with me, and I'm going to look over here and turn. I also love a good Real Housewife, but she is a Bravo-holic, am I right?
I am.
Okay.
I am. And I'm not going to rehab.
No. You said no. Tell me, do you think they're overdoing it?
I think that you have one life to live. And this is the path that they have chosen, and they're going all in. People have so many criticisms about anything that you do, but ultimately, this is how they're choosing to live their life. That was really
interesting.
And they're trying to be the very best at it.
Right.
So there you go. She looks great.
Zero problem with it then.
I have no problem with what people do to their own bodies.
Brandon? Do you find it attractive? I mean, what do you? No, what's your
because I can't sit up here and mansplain. At the end of the day, yes, it's your body, it's your life. I had the problem with her saying, "Oh, I got my arms done, this done, tummy tuck, butt flattened, blah blah blah." Oh, but then I went on a crash diet. That is what is conflicting to me, and that is what just come out and say, you know, you went under the knife. You went to Dr. 90210 or whatever that guy's name is, and keep it there.
You want it a little bit more discreet.
Not so much discreet. Just be open about it. Don't say the crash diet. Hey, you got work done, that's on you, but you know, don't try and make it like you did it all on your own, that sort of thing.
I didn't pick that up.
I didn't either.
You didn't pick that up?
No.
Because I couldn't comment on any of her appearance. Like, I'm not going to sit up there and mansplain or talk as a man like that. You know?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Ooh, get me out of this tour.
Yeah, I will. Okay, don't worry. We're going. Kathy Hilton is up next. Let's wrap. Let's wrap.
Wrap it up.
Nearly one.
You can thank the COVID pandemic for a whole lot of unused airline miles, but experts warn you may want to use them sooner than later. Let's connect the dots. Value Penguin crunched the numbers and found a massive amount of airline reward miles went unused in 2020. That's not a big surprise. With restrictions in place and COVID concerns, not a lot of people were traveling last year. It found that the 5 major airline loyalty programs ended the year with a combined $27.5 billion in unused miles. So here's the problem. The airlines had a really rough 2020. Forbes estimates the 6 largest airlines lost $35 billion. All those outstanding miles are considered liabilities, which means they count as a loss when you're balancing the books. Now that people are starting to travel again, many will be using those stockpiled miles that do little to help the struggling airlines. Travel experts predict the airlines will start changing rules to help their bottom line. That could mean reducing the value of rewards or reinstating expiration dates on the miles already earned. That means the experts recommend using those rewards as soon as possible or run the risk of getting grounded.
Welcome back to DBL. Another Hilton family member is coming to reality TV. The family's matriarch, Kathy Hilton, is joining the cast of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And we got her to serve us up some exclusive tea. Check it out.
The Hilton family isn't one to shy away from the spotlight. Let's be honest. Paris was a reality star before there was such a thing.
This one's cute. I'll get this one too. My mom's credit card on file here.
But last year, during her documentary, a never-before-seen side of the Hilton heiress, after she shared stories of abuse that she suffered at her boarding school.
Something happened in my childhood that I've never talked about with anyone, but I couldn't tell you guys because every time I tried, I would get punished by them. I still have nightmares about it.
But when did the rest of the Hilton family find out about these shocking revelations? The family's matriarch, Kathy, told us the moment her life changed.
When were you first made aware of this abuse?
Right when we were filming that documentary.
Wow.
Which my heart almost stopped. And it just shocked me that she wouldn't have said something to me. I don't think I've done the same since that. I've never watched, I've seen the trailers. I've never been able to watch that. I got into such a depression.
Kathy also reveals her family wasn't the only one impacted by the abuse.
And it's interesting, after it came out, several friends of mine, 2, their children went to that school. And this was something we didn't talk about. So when people started opening up to me, their children never said anything either. And that was shocking, because I'm the kind of mother you can tell me anything.
Being an open book works well in reality TV.
Kathy Hilton's here!
That's why Kathy is taking the plunge and joining the cast of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But what does her famous family think?
When Paris found out that I was doing the show, the housewife, she was disgusted.
No.
Did not. Both my daughters were like, because they said, oh, I was being shady. I was. I then kind of avoided them because I knew they would not be pleased. Now they're fine with it.
What did your sisters Kyle and Kim have to say about you being on the show?
Well, Kyle, as I told you, she really wanted me to do it, which really made me feel very good, because Kyle and I have had our share of problems.
On Housewives, the newbie never knows where to stand with the cast. So what were Kathy's first impressions of the ladies from Beverly Hills?
They all serve up drama. They are drama queens. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. I love them. But these girls get very passionate about what they like, what they don't like. And they go on and on and on and on and on. They can switch like that.
When it comes to reality TV, all viewers want to know is, how real is it? According to Kathy, what you see is what you get.
I have never seen anybody be asked or whispered to say anything or to do anything. So it is, they let the cameras roll. We could go on yakking for 2 and 3 hours till 1 in the morning. And those camera people, you forget they're there. They end up blending into the walls.
Right.
Wow.
And that's where you get really good TV.
So overall, how did this rookie's first season go?
The whole experience for me was great. Now I just got to wait and see, as they say, how I'm edited.
Oh.
Kathy, shut up.
Ooh, the newest season of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is airing right now on Bravo. In fact, it aired last night, so you late. Get on it. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Here's the understatement of the century. The internet is full of misinformation. And that's why the Verify team is here, to go to the vetted experts to find out what's real and what's not. And all over social media, you'll see posts about something called pathogenic priming, described as a process where vaccines facilitate greater infection rather than block the virus. So to get to the bottom of all this, we turn to our experts, Dr. William Schaffner from Vanderbilt University and Dr. Sarah Fortune from the Harvard School of Public Health. First, here's the main question.
Is pathogenic priming a real scientific concept?
Well, in science, we don't call it pathogenic priming, but there is a kernel of truth to this concept.
Schaffner says that the official name is antibody-mediated enhanced disease. So what is this illness?
Under certain very rare circumstances, a body can produce antibody that when it later encounters the real germ, actually causes enhanced disease.
The classic example of that was a vaccine developed against respiratory syncytial virus in the 1960s, when children who got it got sick after they got exposed to RSV.
But with RSV, this was all caught in early trials, and our experts emphasize that these days a vaccine just wouldn't be approved if pathogenic priming existed.
We're looking for this right out of the gate.
This has been looked for in the laboratory, in animal models, in the early trials.
It went through all of that development, but now we know from people they're exceptionally safe.
Not a single case has occurred. We've vaccinated 150 million people in the United States. Hasn't happened. You can rest easy.
So we can verify that these posts on social media are false. Our experts say that there's no risk of pathogenic priming. The COVID vaccines are safe and effective. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozloff.
We all are human beings. And as such, we all want basically the same 5 things in our lives that anybody else wants. We all want to be loved. We all want to be respected. We all want to be heard. We want to be treated fairly. And we want the same things for our family as anybody else wants for their family.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for some sweet, sweet deals. Earlier, Steph showed me some amazing products at some really good prices. Here's this week's DBL Deal Blast, presented by MorningSave.com. What do you have for us today, Steph?
Hey Tori, I'm here with some great products and deals just for you guys. So first up, I've got something that will give you healthier skin no matter your age or skin type. It's the LaFleur Probiotic Skincare 3-Step Kit. So the probiotic cleanser will soften and brighten all skin types by washing away pollutants on the skin and resetting it overnight.
Wow.
Normally, This is as much as $248.
I can see that.
Yep, but we've got it for only $49, saving up to 80%. Next up, I've got the perfect item to help you relax in the comfort of your own home. It's the Pure Daily Care Aromatherapy Diffuser and 10-piece essential oil set. So this deal includes 1 diffuser and the 10 different oils you see here. The included oils are lavender, eucalyptus, tea tree, orange, peppermint, lemongrass, jasmine, my favorite, nutmeg, clove, and spearmint. So normally it's as much as $150.
I was gonna say.
Oils are very expensive.
Yeah.
We've got it for only $39. That's saving up to 74%.
Love it. Yes.
Now, Tori, I've got something that would do great things within your home, or for anyone else's for that matter. It is the 8-pack Square and Ground Solar Pathway lights with bright LEDs. Isn't that cool?
I love the look.
So normally these are as much as $60, and now we've got them for only $29, saving up to 52%. And lastly, keeping our hair looking flawless can be very expensive.
Yes.
Well, not anymore. Not with the Main Choice Heavenly Halo 5-piece hair care bundle. Very important.
Yes.
Normally, this is as much as $83.
Okay.
But right now, the whole set is only $34, saving up to 58%.
Lock into those lock savings. I know that doesn't make sense, but I liked it. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. You can even visit morningsave.com on your smartphone, guys, anywhere you are. Thank you so much, Steph. Okay, so first off, great deals, but second off, we want to give you an update. Matty Siegel, the DJ in Boston, actually didn't quit. He stormed off angrily and then walked back this morning and was back on air.
So Karen. Stunted.
He was a Karen.
So he's stunted. Okay.
Although I have walked off before.
Have you?
Yeah, I got in a lot of trouble when I was on the radio.
When Erica gets in trouble, she just slowly rocks back and forth back.
But it's one of those things I feel like everyone wants to be fake woke until that mortgage payment is due. It's one of those things. He got home, his wife was like, "What are you doing? We got a mortgage, we got a Verizon bill to pay," and he stormed his butt right back into the radio.
Yeah, he did. He also, you said it's like a top 40, so that's not the place to sort of be poking fun at someone like that.
Well, I mean, know your audience, man.
Come on, people. Come on, we know you. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.
Thank you.